Hi, everyone. I'm just checking in here. This isn't pre-thought out, pre-written, or anything, because my work now is to share how I am living the work after trauma and addiction recovery, how today I apply what I have learned, how it's hard sometimes, especially as a mom. When I have hard days, it is always related to mothering moments where I'm trying to teach my kids to do things differently, where I'm trying to mend their trauma wounds from separation, where I'm trying to mend or do something with the amount of time that I have control and they are with me to teach them what to do with feelings, to help build helpful life skills. And my little ones are only 7.5. With my older one, it's very different, and I love and adore our relationship today. Hello. Thank you for joining. So I'm sharing here a little bit about what happened over the last few hours with my little ones, and how sometimes it's really, really good to share in those moments of vulnerability so that others really can relate. Dr. Marissa Franco talks about how human connection requires vulnerability. It requires us to be vulnerable. But we fight against vulnerability. And in my upcoming podcast titled Living the Work, Transforming Shame into Power, I'm so excited about that. It's with Mind, Body, Spirit FM Network, and to be invited is a huge honor. I don't want it to be just another podcast. There's so many out there, and every podcaster says that, right? But what I think will make it different is moments like these, is being willing to share vulnerably how I am living the work of trauma and addiction recovery. I do that the most as a mother. I will also talk about healing core wounds as a child and healing recent wounds as an adult. Stuff we don't talk about. Respecting others' privacy, respecting autonomy, life privacy as much as possible, because my story became so public, not by my choice. I chose to write the truthful story and give it to the public in order that other people can heal, in order to provide a roadmap for others on their own road of trauma and addiction recovery. So here I go. Tonight was a really hard night as a mother. Why? Because I had to grin and bear it. I had to stay strong despite my eyes welling with tears. In many minutes as parenting as a mother, when the innocent souls and minds of 7.5-year-old twin boys responded to my third warning, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, lovingly saying, choose love over your iPad. Choose to nourish yourself over your iPad. Choose to connect with your brother, your mother. Love over your iPad. As I say these words to my little one, I have to keep in mind that while under the other roof of the other parent, and I take partial blame for this, they have gained an addiction on their tablet. It is their nanny. It is their many things. And I do not judge their father. I cannot change what he does there. Who says these things openly, publicly? I am willing to be vulnerable to do that, because I know there are many other parents out there in this same situation. If you are a parent that hurts deeply in your heart from habits gained by your little ones that are concerning, such as using bad words, hitting you, calling you bad names, and being addicted to a tablet, to their iPad, under another parent's roof. If you've struggled as a parent with navigating the field co-parenting, with navigating through your own guilt and shame when you observe behaviors of your little ones and it concerns you and you blame yourself, please tell me. Tell me if you've experienced it, if you are experiencing it. Because as parents in recovery, or as parents divorced, separated, you are not alone. There are other parents like me out there that know how hard it is. And most of all, that shame keeps us alone and silent about these types of problems. Hi. Parents in recovery don't have to feel shame about the effect of their conditions on their children. It's about living the work today and helping the little ones heal through our empowerment. When we have fears and judgments in our head about our little ones' behaviors, which I have, and were triggered so very intensely tonight after my little ones used bad words, after they called me terrible names and hit me, I had to be patient and steady within, in that home within, to not allow the taking it personally to overwhelm me. To realize I am afraid that they will not break this habit of theirs and grow up and enter the world, and that behavior will be judged and that they'll suffer. I identify that fear. I am aware of my judgment of the way that the other parent is parenting. I can identify those fears and that judgment, and I could do something with it. But when it becomes shame within, where I feel ashamed of the behavioral issues of little ones, where I feel ashamed of myself because circumstances are partially the cause, whether it be divorce, whether it be separation, having to go to treatment. If I prevent those fears and judgments from turning into shame, there is a chance. There is a chance of actually using them, living the work, and teaching little ones how to do things differently. Once things get to the shame level, the mind has complete control. The mind has won, and our spirit can't be heard. Our intuition can't be heard. So tonight, as their father just picked them up, I am mentally, emotionally, psychologically recovering, quote unquote, from some very hurtful words said and some hitting that my children did, because we walked through it and it all ended, thankfully, full circle. But it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It doesn't mean that I didn't feel shame. I felt shame, and my heart was hurting for them. Thoughts of, my God, they can't enter the adult world with these kinds of responses to their feelings. Parents don't talk about things like this, but I am. Tell me your fears. Tell me the judgments of the other parent. Talk to me about them. Because when we share our fears and our judgment, please ask me a question. Hi, Larry. Hey, Dean. I am sharing a vulnerable moment here so other parents can relate to the struggles of being a divorced parent and being a parent that is living the work of recovery from trauma and addiction, that knows that it affected your children, that knows that divorce affected your children. Now, maybe it didn't at all, and that's just my mind personalizing it and trying to create shame. Maybe it's just a phase in their 7.5-year-old life. Maybe all of the above, which I think it is. But for me as a mother to get on now live and say, I just had a really hard couple of hours with my little ones, and my heart hurts from fears that the amount of time that I have will not be enough to get them ready for life. From judgments about their father's style. From a load of core wounds that I don't want my children to hurt like I did. I'm okay, by the way. We don't talk about those kinds of moments. In the rooms, sometimes people do. Often people do. About sobriety. I'm talking sobriety from the toxicity of being divorced, of being a co-parent. I'm talking about sobriety from trauma responses also. If you or someone you know can relate to difficult moments co-parenting and parenting, period, for a child that sometimes behaves in ways that are very concerning, please share here. Please let me know. Because I am living the work and what I did. I'm not beating myself up for getting emotional. I'm not beating myself up. I didn't get emotional, but my eyes welled, and I walked up the stairs and sat down and took some deep breaths, and I stood up, walked in tall back into the room after being called a very bad name and being hit a lot. And I stayed the course. It's time to get off your iPad, to choose love and nourish yourself, to choose love and connect to your family. Choose love, my son, my dear son, not your iPad. Again, something very mean was said. I was called terrible names and I was hit. They will be mad at me someday later in life when they hear this. But they worked through it because I did within. they ended up at the table, pouting and upset. Things haven't been thrown, words haven't been said. We live the work and we walk through it. And at the end, we say, I love you unconditionally, no matter what. I am here if you want to talk, if you're feeling a certain way within, because here with me, there is no judgment. Thank you very much for listening. That is how the evening went. And sometimes after taking a deep breath, I realize, wow, I know there's another parent that's going through this. I know there's another parent that feels ashamed to talk about this. Me, my story was public, and I'm turning shame into power by sharing and empowering others, telling them you are not alone, and there is a way out of shame with parenting. Please check out the free Ban Shame tip sheet through my website. Link is in the Instagram link tree, as well as you can use a Ban Shame, BANSHAME, discount code on indiebound.org and get 20% off on Home is Within You. Be sure to join me on Friday when I go live at noon with Priya Jane, and I'll also be doing a signed book giveaway every Friday, okay? Love you and thank you for listening. Home is within you. Have a great night and good night. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way home. Thank you.